Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're back again with another edition of Felons Talk. And Bobby is here for a lengthy interview today because we got a lot of questions. We're going to start at the very beginning and go in a chronological order and try to get the whole story. And if we don't do it in one session, we'll do it in whatever it takes. Bob, thanks again for joining us, Bob. Let's start from the beginning. Where were you? Where are you from, and what was it like growing up?
Well, yeah, when the first place we lived was in the west side of Fresno, and there in the neighborhood we lived in, it was pretty mixed community. A few African Americans started moving in, but there was a lot of Mexicans and a lot of white people that went there. I was going to a Catholic school right away. They put me in Catholic school, and I remember one day, because I never thought about race, never entered my mind differences in people or any of that, and never heard the word, any bad derogatory words on any race at that time. But I'm playing at my friend's house, and we're playing with Army men, G.I. Joe, and this kind of stuff. I'm like 5 years old, we're the normal kid back then. Everybody, had machine guns and all that kind of stuff. We used to play Army. And we played Cowboys and Indians. I would always be the Indians. But anyway, my neighbor, I called this guy Mr. Jones. And Mr. Jones, he came to the fathers through the garage and was talking to my friend's father. And he told him that, I'm going to be moving. He says, it's bad enough they got Mexicans that moved into the neighborhood, but they got moving in now. Excuse the language, but I'm just saying that's what it was. And I didn't think about that. So I went and I talked to my mom, and my mom was working, and my dad had been worked like two jobs. He was going to night school to become a journeyman mechanic, and our babysitter was black. She was a black woman, and I asked her, and she told me, "Oh, that son of a bitch," yeah. And I thought, wow. I told my mom. My mom was really pissed off. My mom was beautiful, man. She was just the most beautiful woman you'd ever meet in your life. And, she used to do television because TV had just come out. There was one Mexican program, and she used to do like news and stuff like that. And so a couple of weeks later, I'm playing with the matches down at the corner. There's this canal, and I thought I can light this fire, put it out real quick. The fire got out of hand, and I couldn't put it out, and I run down the street, and Mr. Jones, I would call him Mr. Jones, and he yells at me. And about 10 minutes later, I hear fire engines and all that, and then they come knocking on my door, and it's the cops, the firemen, and Mr. Jones. And I still got the box of matches in my pocket. And the cop looks at my pants and says, what do you got there in your pocket? And that was my first thing, never have evidence on you. I learned that right at that time. And so they gave me a warning and all that. Lucky it was just grass that burned, but to be careful. And Mr. Jones stood right there. And Mr. Jones, he had the Confederate flag, lapel right there. Also had a plaque on his pickup, and his skirt, his curtain was the Confederate flag. And so it took years and years till I registered the meaning of that Confederate flag.
Right, I guess.
So then my dad, he graduated, he got a full-time job, and was doing pretty good. Then he applied for the GI loan. And so it means that he can get a loan to buy a house. So we found a good house and in a good neighborhood, and he thought, well, we're going to get a good education. It would put us in the best schools and everything. And it took me one day to realize, hey, these people, all white, they don't want us there. They so they I was riding my bike around the block, familiarizing myself with the neighborhood, and like 5 kids. One guy, Joey Pets. There was Freddie Eads, who turned out to be a hardtop driver in Fresno, the racetrack and stuff. And David Pombo, and his dad was already a hardtop driver, and he turned out to be a hardtop driver. And I mean, they had the typical redneck front yard, grass going over, jump cars, and
right.
Grass going high and everything. So one of these kids threw dirt in my face, and they all jumped me, and I fought. They didn't expect me to fight back. So they ran, and dirty wetback, chili choker, go back to where you come from. And I went home. I think I told you this before. I went home, and my dad saw I was trying to hide from him, and he saw what was happening. Did something happen to me? He asked me. I told him, the kids jumped me, and so he went and got a baseball bat, gave it to me, and gave it to my sister, who was a year older than me. He told us, go find them son of bitches and don't come back. You beat the shit out of them, because if you don't stop them now, they're going to continue doing this to you. So we went looking for them, and I didn't find them. And I went to, I got enrolled in a different Catholic school. And there, there was no problems. It was mixed again, equal. And it was pretty equal. There's quite a few blacks, a lot of Mexicans, and a lot of white people. And it was, it was just a whole different, to me, it was pretty cool, you can learn. So then my dad got laid off, and we had to move back to Del Rey, where my grandfather had a bar. And we went back there and stayed for a while. And then my dad continued to look for jobs and would work different part-time jobs. And my uncle had moved down to L.A. and told us to pack up to L.A. And we were like the Beverly Hillbillies going south, to Los Angeles. So we went into San Fernando Valley, and my dad got a job there, and we stayed there for a while, and he got laid off of that job. And my dad would always talk about, at that time, the Republicans become the governor, jobs is getting harder to find, and so politics is getting in my head, when I was little, man, and dealing with economics and stuff. So then we had to move back to my grandfather's, and in that school, which I like, the Prairie School, it's 99% Mexican, and I loved it. I loved it growing up there. But there, I learned that I had larceny in my heart.
There you go.
I was a thief. There was all the white shops, because the bank, which later on I would rob that bank 2 times, the grocery store, the hardware store, every one of the shops in this town that's 99% Mexican were owned by white people.
Right.
All the people who had jobs there were white people. You didn't see no Mexican get a job in the soda fountain thing. Well, anyway, one day the soda fountain, they had ice cream. I'm 7 years old, about 7 years old. And I burglarized it. We just stole all the gum, all the Snickers, and candies I could get. And so then my dad landed up getting another job, and we moved back to our house in Fresno. Now, the house my dad bought in Fresno, he always rented it out if we had to leave. He didn't want to lose the home. He wanted to make sure that we always had a home. So when I go back there, we couldn't afford to put me and my sister, and now my little brother. We couldn't have my second brother Rodney. He was born, and he couldn't afford to put us in a Catholic school. At least not all of us, but he could afford one. And my sister, that's my sister, and I had to go to a public school. And all them boys that first jumped me, all they're in public school. So now I'm 8, 9 years old, and I'm thumping. Almost every day I'm thumping. And at 9 years old, I already had my eye on girls.
Yeah,
I like girls. And they would get mad because for some reason girls like me. It's so we would always have conflicts. And they used to be. We had a neighbor. He was the b-boy. He used to throw the newspaper, and he would do the collection and come and get the money for your monthly subscription throughout all the neighborhood. That he went, and I saw where he used to put the money before he had to do it. I burglarized that house, stole his money, and then there was a grocery store. They built a grocery store behind my house, and I got a job in the grocery store. And then in the back door where they used to bring all the trucks to load all the commodity, all the stuff and everything, there was a key because they would slide the door shut and put a padlock on that door, but and you can only open it from the inside. So one day I had some friends wait for me because if you open it in the alley, you jump over the fence. It's my house. So what I did is I stayed in the store. They closed up. I waited to make sure that
What happened, Bob? Okay, click. Come on. Hello.
Hey, we were with the shopping cart, loading everything in the shopping cart, and then when it was time, we locked the door back up. Then it was time, we opened the door, got it out, and all my little partners, we put it, I did that stuff, and they all had their pockets filled, went home with all the goodies and everything. So I did this actually for years. And as I got older, we were drinking beers. I always provided, cases and cases and cases of beer for the party. Then, now I'm in junior high school at that time. There was this kid. I was still fighting all these other kids, but there was this one kid that was having problems also. Little kid. He's a little fucker. I didn't like him at first. I didn't like this dude because he's got his eye on our girlfriends. And he's over there sweet talking them and everything. Because we're in the ninth grade, and these girls like 7th and 8th grade and stuff like that. Junior high school. So one day I said, I'm going to teach this little kid a lesson. So I went there to go bull him. This fucking dude fires on me and everything. And he's ready to fight like 4 of us. Eddie Hevle.
That was Snail? Eddie Hevle. Okay.
And I look, man, this fucking little dude got heart, man. And he's 2 years younger than me. He's like 7th grade. We're in the 9th grade. And he's got heart. He's not going to run away. And we're telling him, hey, you best take off. No. And he's standing his ground, man. So after that, a couple years later, now
let me stop you for a second. Let me stop you for a second. So, because people might have passed over what you just said there. Edgar Hevle is one of the 4 defendants of the Aryan Brotherhood that was taken to trial on the 2006 indictment in Santa Ana, charged with many, many murders. I think it was a total of 16 homicides and attempted murders. Okay, so I just wanted to make sure everybody didn't, because people went. I thought his name was pronounced Hevle, but it's Hevle, right?
Hevle, Hevle, yeah.
Yeah, Edgar Hevle. They called him Snail, right?
Snail. Anyway, by the time I was in ninth grade, I started smoking pot, and I would always have a lot. I used to sell it. Right next to the store was Carter Cyclery, and Carter Cyclery and Hell's Angels from Fresno. They used to always come, and he was friends. They were friends with the guy, the owner, Carter, and I used to sell them weed. I used to, then the buy, Oakland, that's another trip. And I had a job with working at the Pines in Bass Lake, and every year the bikers, the Hell's Angels, they would do the run at Bass Lake, and I was the soda jerk at this little restaurant,
Okay.
hamburger joint, and there was this girl. She was dumb enough to get on the back of a motorcycle. She's a teenager, and the father's looking all over for his daughter, and he comes in. The father's crying. He said, "Man, she went with the bikers. You know where they're at and everything." So I thought, "Oh shit," So I got, about 12 lids, because I'm dealing weed. In Bass Lake, it's a summer tourist spot, So then, so I just go in to their camp and everything. The vice president Fu Manchu of the Hell's Angels, his name Fu Manchu. Well, his old lady was my sister's best friend in high school.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I see her, and I tell her who I am, and she hugs me and everything, and so it's okay. And I told her, "Hey man, this guy, I want to make you a trade. This girl, for this weed." And so I was able to walk out with a girl, unharmed.
Okay.
Anyway, all the bikers. I knew all the bikers because that gets to do with the 13 and 14 now on the gang things. It's today. But anyway, all this time, Eddie's always around. Eddie Hevle. And he had his own connections to weed. We were always, how the hell is this guy? He's not getting it. It was secondhand through us. Me and my partners, we had that little clique. But we always liked him. We always liked Eddie. And he's going to juvenile hall. I would be in juvenile hall, and we hung out together, man. We were Eddie lived on Simpson. I lived on Simpson on the same street, but he was a couple blocks away. So we're as homeboys you can be.
Mm-hmm.
Me and Eddie, especially when you're becoming institutionalized in juvenile hall and jail and everything. I want to stick with Eddie right now, just or we can get there later. But Eddie, one day in jail, we're in Fresno County Jail, and we're drinking Puno, and I'm feeling my oats, and I'm fucking with him, and he body slammed my ass. Right? he fucking body slammed my ass, and he said, "Goddamn, Bobby, quit fucking with me," and and then we laughed. We laughed. It's
yeah.
Snail. Nobody would ever know. He's a bad motherfucker.
Well, did they call him Snail? Later, Did they call him Snail when he was? Did they call him Snail?
Not then. No. Eddie Hevle. They didn't call him. He didn't really get that name till later in prison.
Okay.
And the fellas, AB, cause he done state time and stuff, also. And when we got to Lompoc, see, Eddie married a friend of mine, a friend of my brother's mostly. My brother, his wife is married, and his wife's brother is married to Eddie Hevle's sister. We have.
He married a Mexican girl?
We're all white girl.
Okay.
White girl. My brother is. I always married Mexican girls, so I come to Europe. I've been married 4 times, dude. It's the last one stayed. There's a good song. There's a good song blues. That's sometimes you got to just let your woman have her way.
Yeah.
It's Alva Bishop. It's really funny. It's if you're gonna make it work, sometimes you just got to let a woman have her way. It's, so anyway, and Eddie's old lady bringing in some heroin, and she cut the shit out of it. Because we knew,
where was
where
this
the
at?
stuff come from.
Where was this at?
This is in Lompoc.
Okay.
Lompoc. Now at that time I'm already in this drug program, temporary. I didn't finish the drug program. I'm in this drug program, and me, Buzz, Coy, my other homeboy, and Eddie had just rode up, and he's in F unit. So we set it up, and she will bring us the dope and all that. So he gets it, and there's 2 guys, the Ferganchek brothers. They're old, 2, older guys. They all been in Folsom, quitting, and they were my cell partners at McNeil Island. And when they left, I inherited a 4-man cell. In a 4-man cell, I gave them some weed, LSD and stuff, and heroin. I gave them a staff, to inherit the cell, and that 4-man cell become my cell. There's only 2 4-man cells in McNeil Island. The rest, there's a few. 4-man cells. There's a bunch of 2-man cells down in the flats, but those are long-term guys that've been there like forever. And so the 4-man cell was gold.
How many man cells did they have? What was the normal housing arrangements at McNeil?
Well, you got I think 4 tiers. The 2 sides. You got a tier 4 rows, like 1, 2, 3, and 4 cells per tier. On each side. Like I was in 3H1. I was a 4-man cell, and 3-2-1 is a 4-man cell. Those are the only 4-man cells.
Yeah, but I'm just asking, Bobby. What I'm asking, I heard they had 6-man cells and all that stuff.
Yeah, there were like 8, 10-man cells.
That's 10-man cells.
I remember.
Yeah. Okay, that's what I was saying. They had big cells, right? They had big cells.
Yeah, that's why, like, when I went back to McNeil Island from Lompoc, when I picked up the killing in Lompoc, they put us in a 10-man cell, and me, Gabby, Willie Bobo, Snuffy, Tony Palacios, Bruiser, Buzz, that's the largest crew of Mexican Mafia, I think, at any time in the federal system, and that's apparently that's what Sly is supposed to come and make us all strip.
Yeah.
And rob them, and then when we jabbed them, him and the other guy was standing back to back with their knives. Though, oh my God! I've heard some lies about that, but that one takes it. I didn't even gonna respond to that because he's so full of shit.
Yeah,
never happened. But anyway, the Ferganchek brothers, Eddie, when he first got it, he straight off he gave them a balloon. They put like $100. He'd sell them a whole balloon for $100, and it was tough as shit, you know. And mad, and they jammed up Eddie. Now I come and I see the them. So I tell Buzz, go get us a piece, go get it quick. So I'm standing there, and the Verganchuk see that I'm backing up Eddie. He told him, hey, you don't know what the fuck you're doing. And this is before me being in M and Eddie being in the brand, And I looked at them and I like, no, you don't know what you're doing. Because he don't know us. We're youngsters at that time, but we're different youngsters. So we're a different breed of youngsters, and we're a tip. Our clique is solid, Yeah. And so all of a sudden, they turn around, they got 25 dudes surrounding them. And I told him, I said, look it, man, you're going to get paid. Don't worry about it. Throw the shit away. If it ain't no good, throw the shit away, and I'll get you something after count, for dinner when they open the gates and we go to dinner. I'll have something for you. Because I had other stuff, that so I got them their shit, But then they come and they told me, you should never do that. You don't know and everything. Say, hey, that's my homeboy, man. I'm going back my homeboy. Yeah. That's simple. And so anyway, it's we always hung together. And, him and Buzz were my best friends until Willie came. Then Willie Bobo showed up, and I didn't know Willie Bobo. Buzz was friends in San Quentin with Willie Bobo. He had done some needlework on him, and he was like exclusive AB and AB Associates.
Who was?
Buzz.
Oh, yeah, Buzz. Yeah. Well, so Buzz was AB. Yeah. Did he ever become AB?
No, he wasn't. Buzz was not AB.
That's what I know he was. Yeah, he was. Yeah, I know they liked him and everything, but he never became an AB, right?
Yeah. See, I just heard another story. You ever watch that good show? I wish all your listeners, it's called Convicts, Prisoners, Politicians, and Cops.
Yeah, you ever see that? Well, what about
it? Hey, the guy, he was a prison guard, man. He knows, and he was part of that whole gang task force and everything. He knows more about gangs than we do. All that guy, he really does. But he puts out all the members that he knows of, from A to Z, and all the major gangs that there is. And he put something the other day about Buzz, and apparently that Buzz was doing a tattoo on Arvo Ray when what's his name came in and
killed him and stabbed him.
Did the hit? Yeah, Buzz. We all knew Buzz is not that guy to do a hit. He might be the guy that goes and stabs the piece and everything, but he's not a killer, man. The guy,
I know.
He's not that material. He's not that material, man. It pisses me off, man, that he got used on that thing, and it hurt me big time that he ratted. Yeah, I don't know. So anyway. Then Willie, me, Willie.
Wait a minute, you're talking about, we're going all over the place, Bob. What you were talking about is Buzz Miller, right? And how he wasn't, he was an AB associate and everybody in the AB liked him, everybody.
He was a Mexican Mafia associate.
That too. He was putting that good ink down and everybody loved him, But he ended up getting caught up in a murder case in Lompoc on Alva Ray that he never should have been. because, like you say, he really wasn't a killer, man. He was just one of the fellas that hung out and everybody liked, and they kind of used him to set this guy up. And is that how it happened, or what?
I really don't know. I've heard now two conflicting stories. Then no, I was going to talk about Puppet. We'll get
Yeah, I'm
into
gonna get
that
into
later
him too, though. Yeah.
with Puppet. So yeah. Anyway, me, Buzz, Eddie, Hevle, Snail, and Willie Bobo. We were a tight clique in Lompoc. It was really us. And then I started meeting other Mexican Mafia members in the visiting room. With Willie. Me and Willie always got visit together because I set him up with my cousin, and then my lady, she's bringing big time dope, and I had a way. We used to actually, the heroin I would swallow, but the weed and the other stuff we would stash. And then we had somebody that was working that would clean up.
In the visiting room. So what you're saying is you stash the weed in the visiting room, and the guy that cleans up the visiting room picks up the stash and brings it back in.
And then he would stash it in another place, right, because they would shake him down when he came out, and then it's the warden's office, and then the guy that used to be the clerk, he never got searched, and he would bring it in for us.
Was Bobo from Fresno? Yeah, Willie Bobo was from Fresno.
No, in Redondo Beach. He's
from down L.A. area, right?
Yeah,
that's what I always thought. Yeah, okay.
And then anyway, we were like, Willie's trying to recruit me from day one. He liked my style. And I had somewhat of a reputation already because I was always thumping. I was kind of the catalyst for the Mexicans and the white boys from California. I was just I don't like to say I was the shot caller. Some people would say that and everything because I didn't call for no war or none of that kind of stuff and everything. I was just an organizer, constantly organizing stuff. But then then I was meeting different Beto. I was meeting Robot and heavy hitters in the Mexican Mafia in the visiting room. And
whatever happened to Robot? What happened to Robot Salas?
He died, and we really don't know how.
Wow.
It's because they cremated his body right away. So and then Beto and I met Nora, his old lady.
Robot died on Robot died on the streets. He wasn't killed in prison. He didn't die
on the streets.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
No, he died on the streets. He kind of took over everything for Joe. He was
Joe Morgan.
And so like I had the way to get it in, so me and Willie, I'll show you some of the pictures I showed you. We're wearing back time $100 pair of shoes and all that. We were styling.
Yeah.
Because they let us have our own clothes in Lompoc.
Really? Yeah, yes, I've heard it. At one point they did, huh?
Yeah, and how we did that is check this out. We never got into my youth. It's okay, because I started going to juvenile hall all the time. Okay, this will be real quick. For fighting, I was always fighting. I would win, and I'd be the one who got in trouble, and so back and forth, and then jail. So anyway, when one day we're in the day room and we're watching the news. And the news was something that no one fought over. The blacks wouldn't fight over the channel. The news was the news. So we're watching television, and the weather report is coming on, and the guy doing the weather is on a yacht, huh? And then on the yacht, he's another yacht goes by him, and we look. It's the fucking warden, Frank Kitten. Frank Kitten's the warden, and then with him, there's all these clad bikini women on the yacht. We say, "Oh shit, it's a yacht anybody would love to be on." And John Alicio is so mafioso. He's supposed to be in there with us. And they go by. Wait. We all look. Anyway, the warden has to resign behind that trip right there, and with full pay. And so they bring in this guy from Atlanta, Chuck. I forgot his last name. It's a thing. It's like I forgot Mundo for that one time when we were talking about Sailor Boy. The names come later. Anyway.
So what about, listen, you never knew Mundo, did you? Mundo?
No, hell no. I already knew he was a rat.
Yeah. You knew Joe Morgan?
Yeah. Yeah, we did. No, I didn't know Joe.
You never knew Joe Morgan?
I never met Joe.
Wow.
No.
He was a hell of a guy, man. He was a very powerful dude, man. And he fucking...
Oh, I know. But you know what? Hey, you know what? Champ was just as powerful.
Was he really? Yeah. Somebody said.
Yeah. Champ, I mean, there's Champ, I met Champ, and you got to respect Champ. He's a brother, He's Champ, but Champ has got a lot of people who died in L.A. That aren't Mexican Mafia will die for Champ, and his kids, his cousins, his family. Champ goes deeper than Joe. The fellas now. AB and Mexican Mafia total. Joe's got that, but Champ is beyond. Champ went way beyond. Really? And Champ is pretty smart too. But from all my conversations with brothers, Joe was one sharp dude.
Yes, he was.
I remember Willie and Gabby. There were times that, man, I hope you and Joe get out at the same time. You guys got to connect.
Joe had it going on.
I'm glad we did.
He really had it going on.
I'm glad. Yeah, I mean, I had offers to be able to take over the Cadillac dealership of San Francisco, and that's things to do with some Italians. I met some pretty good Italians, man. Some super heavyweights Italians. And I'll talk about one later, but if we ever get back to Marion. Anyway, it's so me, Eddie, Willie, Buzz, and that was a homeboy Chloe. Mongo, now he's a Mexican guy. Mongo, he had his crime partner got mixed up with the Nuestra Familia, but he had nothing to do no more with his crime partner. And Mongo, man, Willie wanted to really check him out. We checked him out, and then even as other mafiosos landed up in Lompoc, they all loved the guy. He's he's not a gangster. He's not a gangster. He's a criminal. He's a criminal, but that's the kind of criminal we want to deal with. And he he can move that dope. That's what it was about back then. So we were always running together. And Roger Smith from Fresno. It's we had a good Fresno tip. Then there was other guys from Madera, the San Joaquin Valley, the outskirts of Fresno and Clovis. We all stayed together. There was no one weak in there. So I mean, we had a lot of dope. That we could move. I mean, we even had a guard. Won't say too much about him, but I knew him on the streets.
Wow.
I knew him on the streets. And he used to smoke dope, and he went in the army, and then we were talking. And I told him, man, don't tell nobody that shit. So he brought in shit for us too. We had I had one bigger way of bringing dope that I won't say because it probably could still be used today. It's but I can get in 10 pounds of dope at a time. Moved in and have the guard bring it in for me, and they'll never know what they did.
So you got any good stories about Buzz, like Buzz Miller?
Well, he was. I told you, Willie was visiting my cousin, and then my wife's sister. She was my girlfriend at that time. Buzz was married. Was visiting his sister. So we always were always together. And Buzz would always keep my stash. He would never rip me off. He would keep our pieces. He was I'd say for besides Willie, they were my best friends for years, man. Always was trusted. You never saw Buzz without me. Always watched my back. I told you when I picked up the killing, I really thought I could settle this without being involved. I catch up with that. When finally, I had been going out on trips. I had to go on one escorted trip with a guard named Sylvester Newton, a black guard. I mean, when this guy, he had a retirement, I put on a thing for him. And all the convicts of Lompoc were in there. And we, different people made different art, made things to give him. It was like an award ceremony to say bye to Sylvester Newton. He used to be a preacher from Alabama, a black preacher. When we announced Sylvester Newton, every convict in Lompoc stood up and applauded, a standing ovation. He's with a guy. He's what you call a real Christian. This guy treated us with respect, watched out for us, warned us, to be cool. He wouldn't do nothing illegal and everything. He was a respectful guy. Well, anyway, to get on my first trip, he volunteered to take me out because normally to pay a guard, pay their salaries to go on an escorted trip, which I later had to do to a bedside visit for my mom. Anyway, then I got out because I got involved in the 7-Step Foundation, and then I eventually become the director of the 7-Step Foundation. And then there was politics because there's a lot of chapters throughout the country, and then there's outside chapters as well, and there's politics on that. Who's going to get the funding and everything. And so that's when my mind started working and how to run programs and what I could do when I got outside, when I got out, but to make it real. So then I would read Robert's Rule of Order and all this stuff and everything, how to run a corporation and to conduct business. So I contacted all the inside chapters and I got their proxy vote.
Their what?
And so the proxy vote. In other words, they can't be there, but they can give me their vote.
Okay. Proxy
vote.
Okay.
I had like yeah. So I was the power delegate when we went to this conference in Oakland, and we wanted to keep the national chapter in California. And Stanley, I forgot Stanley's name. He was a black guy, really good dude. And so I wanted to go to this meeting, and I outvoted everybody. we kept it in California. Then I went on my own, another step meeting to Denver, Colorado. And there, how I got that is I got a probation officer. There was a probation officer who I met her, and she came in with a bunch of little thugs, about 15 little thugs, mostly Mexican and black kids, and they're little thugs, juvenile. She's a juvenile probation officer, and she come in and right away like, whoa, she's looking good. I didn't think she was a probation officer or anything, and so the guard walks and said, "Hey, Poppy," they all recognized me because I was organizing everything, and I had already at that time. I told you when the new warden came, Chuck Montgomery, he wanted to. How do we change this prison? What are we going to do? Because at Lompoc, every year we had a riot. A police riot. Every year we had a riot.
When you say a riot, what kind of a riot? What kind of describe this riot?
Black and white, against black. I mean, fucking battle, a war. People getting stabbed.
Race riot. A race riot. A race riot. Racially.
Race riot. Every year, Lompoc was known for that. That's why it was called back then. In the early
Gladiator
70s and
school.
late 60s.
Yeah.
Gladiator school.
Yeah.
So I got there. It was still the gladiator school. So he said, "Man, how do we stop this shit?" And I told him, I said, "First of all, we got to humanize this thing." And I said, we get one phone call a month. Each prisoner gets one phone call a month. We get one photograph a month. And then so we get our one photograph. Do we give it to our wife? Do we give it to one of our 3 kids? Send it to our mom. Who do we give the photo? Come on, we need to be able to have that. He said, "Well, how would you do that?" And I said, "We can have Polaroid cameras. Then we sell tickets in the commissary. Pay $1 a piece. And then out of the profit in each unit, because he wants to set up a unit management system. And so I was telling him, man, about having clothes we can order through catalogs and and so it has to come from a catalog to get that package. Not our family. Better sports equipment. One of the things they turned me down though on the sports equipment was pole vaulting. They said so. Anyway, we set up an inmate advisory council. So I went and took people like Punchy, Aldine, for the black representative. Congress.
Punchy. You meant about Tall Punchy?
Yeah, Tall. I love that dude, man.
Hey, man, he's out now. He got out. I seen pictures of him. I think Fly had some pictures of him. Him and Nordy out there. Yeah, they're out there. They finally got out. I don't know what he had a murder case. I think
he had a murder case in Lompoc up in the hobby shop. Him, Aldine, and Punchy. Aldine homicide and Punchy picked up that murder. Man, I hated to lose them guys because they kept the peace. There's always a fool. Every race, man, has got the goddamn fool that does something stupid that starts shit. If something comes down, and it was black people, we went to punch you. Man, and then we would talk, and we would get all the heads of each group, and we would talk together without the guard, and we'd settle that shit. And then when we lost them, kind of didn't have no strong thing, and then the DC blacks wouldn't they had the conflict with the California blacks all the time, so there was no cohesion there. Well, anyway, it's Willie ended up getting the furlough, and because he had a short sentence, and then we were waiting for him to come back, and because other things were being set up, and he didn't come back. I didn't hear from him. I didn't get no card, didn't know what was happening until I got a visit, and then I heard what was up and everything. So then I got a
what happened? What happened?
To marry.
What happened?
He just didn't come back.
He walked away. He just never came back.
Yeah, just never come back from the furlough. And so now he's on escape status. Walk away. They call it walk away status. And so when I got my furlough to get married, I'm getting short. I got my parole from the state of California. I had 4 or 5 to lives in the state of California, but was doing my time in the feds. And so I just got my parole there, and so now I had gone on escorted trips. I got a furlough, and so when I get married, Willie's there, and a few other brothers are there, and
wait a minute. After he walked away or before?
After he walked away. He's on escape. He's on escape when he's at my wedding.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. So, it's, so this is around the time I got put in, So
who do you think is the smartest inmate you ever met? Smartest?
Man, there's a hell of a lot. I really want to tell you. I know some smart people, intelligent human rights lawyers, judges who's been on international tribunals and everything. The best conversations I've ever had in my life was in prison. With quite a few, and just they don't have the education degree, but they got book smarts, man. They read some heavy shit. They understand how the world works. It's hard to put which one is the smartest, man. I really can't say.
Yeah.
I really can't say.
Do you think you had a drug problem at one point in your life, or what? Did you consider yourself like?
Did I have what?
You had a drug problem at some point in your life?
Oh, fuck yeah! Drugs got me in big time trouble all the time. I mean, I mean, I could not make enough money through crime legally, not legally. I mean, selling dope and stuff without having to rob banks to be able to pay the connection, feed my habit and everything. Fucking drugs was a monster, and even in prison. I mean, I had a habit in prison, and went out, and it's I quit shooting dope in McNeil Island before I got to Marion. Didn't shoot no dope in Marion.
No, I know. It's quite hard there, huh?
And could have did no. my mind already. Let me tell you what. When I got the murder beef, they sent me and Buzz and Jimmy Ortega. Jimmy Ortega is another brother. He was from Wilmington. They sent us. He's one of my main witnesses, and he's also with me on the murder beat. And he's a mafioso. Willie, and Jimmy. So they sent us to McNeil, and Willie had got captured by the time I got there, and he's there, and all the fellas and everything. So right away they put me in that, in the cell with them. They moved me in there, and I get to meet, get introduced to all the other brothers and everything. I'm introduced to them, and then some other killing happened. I'm with probably one of the smartest guys I ever met. A guy named Red Hog, Danny Martin.
Red what?
Red Hog, Danny Martin. He's from Fresno. Me and him, he's trying to teach me how to write. And we're together. I spent a lot of time with Danny Martin. He wrote a book called Committing Journalism. Committing Journalism. You'll find that by Danny Martin, Dannie. He wrote In the Hat, a book called In the Hat. He wrote a lot of prison things. I used to tell him because he'd write fiction. And a lot of the bad guys would always read this guy named Nedraw.
Who?
Nedraw is Warden spelled backwards. Nedraw, and but the stories that he are writing, the real incidents, because all prison, they all got to do with prison and stuff.
Yeah.
And that dude was sharp. He was really an intelligent dude. And then after that, I was telling him, man, you got to write about what's happening. Get out the fight for real. How they're fucking over people. And the conditions, why there's a riot, why there's food shortage, right? What's really coming down. So they sent him to Lompoc, and he started writing that. And then this publisher, Peter Sussman of the San Francisco Chronicle, he read some of his story, and every Sunday there was a major article written by Danny Martin. So they put Danny in the hole for writing. He got put in solitary confinement. He committed journalism. That's what the book is about. Committing journalism. He was then when I got out, he had paroled and everything. I'm in San Francisco. They're giving him this big award, a journalism award, and I'm there, and he sees me, the different me. I've been working with the gangs, doing starting all these programs, helping start programs, going to the United Nations, all this stuff. He looks at me and he said, "You are the perfect analogy for metamorphosis." He says, "You are changed." He said, "You cannot recognize you as seeing you in prison and seeing you now. You're not the same guy, man. You're not the same guy." I said, "I know, man. I know it." So we were friends on the streets too. So good, man. That's probably the smartest guy I ever met.
So, tell us how you. You live in France, right? Now, how did you meet? How did you meet your wife and everything? How did you guys get together?
I'd been coming. I was touring mostly for Leonard Peltier for the Apache Survival Coalition.
Yeah.
And different, but mostly death row prisoners, guys who I really thought were innocent, or the crime never should have got the death penalty. I would take it because I was getting requests. I mean, even got requests from John Dressler to put him on political prisoner status.
Oh,
You know,
wow.
and I can't. Yeah, for real. His wife contacted me,
Yeah.
and you know, I would blow the people I'm trying to help their cases. You know, bona fide political prisoners, and
Yeah.
you know, just so anyway, I was seeing things. You know, I had at this time now. I got involved real strong with the American Indian movement because I had been going to ceremonies, and I'd ended up becoming a sun dancer and really committed to that way and everything. So then one day I was in Big Mountain, Arizona, and in Big Mountain, Arizona, I was meeting all these people, the Navajo people, and they had been forced to locate like 10,000 families to the most toxic site in America. There was a nuclear accident, and all the water from that Kerr-McGee in Utah settled in this little valley in the Four Corners area, and so it's all contaminated nuclear waste.
Oh, wow.
In this little valley. So what they did is they built, the government built prefabricated houses on that site, and then went. You take a map and you see the geologists. They said here is uranium deposits. We need to mine here, there, and so you take that map and you look at another map. You put it on top. The exact sites where the families live are the ones that had to move, and they forced them to relocate to where the toxic site. One out of every 3 children born on that site have no legs, no arms. I mean, it was it still brings me to tears remembering what happened. And I swore to God, man, I swore to God, whatever I got to do, I'm going to do. I quit my job. I quit my job, and I got some funding, and then also, but I'm still working on Peltier's case at that time. And I did a tour. Some of them, they organized a tour for me. I went to Germany, Poland, the Netherlands, Belgium, France, Spain, Italy. I went on a tour. Yeah, and I'm trying to bring awareness. What the fuck was going down? So then I would start meeting with all the parliaments of those countries. Because I went to just knock on doors at the European Parliament. I got one of those groups to give me the badge, and I went there and I just knock on doors. Can I talk to you? Can I talk to you? And then I got unanimous resolutions for a bunch of incidents. Then I raised money through like Rage Against the Machine. I mean, all these movie stars and everything to take a delegation to the United Nations about Big Mountain, the forced relocation and everything. One of the people and that was being forcibly relocated, the government came, what they call the Bureau of Indian Affairs. And they came with bulldozers and with armed guards come to knock down her home. She shot, had a 22 rifle, single shot rifle. And she shot her in the air, told him, stop, you got to stop. You can't. I've been here. I've lived all my life here. My husband is buried here. My grandfather is buried here. My great-great-grandfather and all from time immemorial. This is our land. You can't do this, sir. And they arrested her, locked her up, charged her with treason. With terrorism. And we, had to go to court, even to the appeals court, federal appeals court, to. Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you, but I can't see
Oh,
you.
there you go.
I can hear you, but I can't see you. Can you hear me? Huh? You hear me?
I'm trying to. Yeah, I'm trying to see you.
Hide
Can you
your
see me yet?
background and more. Oh, I got you back. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So, you know, this case that charged this woman for terrorism, you know, and then for it's the government that's committing the crime. It's a crime against humanity. So anyway, I've got for all this, I was getting resolutions from the Italian Parliament, the Belgian Parliament. I mean, all these governments would give us unanimous resolutions, and it didn't mean shit. It didn't mean jack shit. I was going constantly for years to the United Nations and made statements about these crimes of genocide. I mean, it's genocide
Well,
to
what can
force
they
people
do?
to
Let me ask
relocate.
you. Well, what can these tribunals or whatever they are over in Europe? What can they do about what happens in America? I mean, how does
The
that even
tribunal.
work? I don't
Well,
understand how that works.
see, I didn't know. I didn't know. For political awareness, and one for propaganda, for us to use propaganda to tell people we've got these resolutions from the Italian government, Belgian government, Austrian, and
Mm.
all this stuff. And then, but then when I realized this ain't doing shit, so I would listen to people in the United Nations, and I said, boy, that's a heavy dude there, you know, and that's a heavy dude there, that's a heavy woman there. So I started going to them and ask them, what can I do for real? None of this shit means nothing. What can I do?
Yeah, right.
Organize an international tribunal and put the United States government on trial. Well, how do I do that? They said, well, you need to get all the things that the government has done wrong. So I went to my allies, which is the Black Panther Party, Geronimo Pratt, my partner. You know that people may not know Angela Davis. There's a woman from Philadelphia, man. I got Ramona Africa. I don't know
Yeah.
if you ever heard. She's part of she's my sister, man. I love her. Pamela Africa, all them. I mean, so I had the Black Panther Party, the Puerto Ricans. Did you ever know it was Rafael Cansalmadanda? He was he used to stay at my house. We would do conferences all over the country. Rafael Cansalmadanda, he's uh, 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 he went into Congress and shot the congressman,
He what?
the Puerto Rican acid. He shot. He actually shot
Where was this at?
some U.S. congressmen.
Where
Long
at?
time ago, he was in the Marine Control Unit, Rafael, way before us. It's and Jimmy Carter gave him uh, 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 you know, a presidential pardon. Anyway, so I went to them, and I'm part of what they call the Freedom Now Network. And then the Freedom Now Network, they had done a tribunal before, and I told them, look, we need to get all the movements, the Black movement, the Indian movement, Chicano movement, even the white resistors, because you have a lot of radical, the Weathermen, and all these people. So we all got together. We got all of our testimony together. Each one, and then we were able to get Professor Francis Boyle. He's a professor of international law at the University of Illinois of Champlain, and he was also Muammar Gaddafi's lawyer in the World Court. And he's anyway. So I brought international jurists, all heavyweights, to be the judges, and we put the United States government on trial, and we charged them with crimes of genocide, with human rights violations, crimes against humanity, and for holding political prisoners and prisoners of war in jail today, to this day. And Leonard Peltier
You know where he is? He's
is
down
one.
in Florida right now. Leonard's in Florida.
Yeah.
Coleman. Yeah. I think he's in Coleman, the Max. Coleman High.
He's in Coleman. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not part of his committee no more. So after I got ran over and different people come through and everything, and one woman, different people come and go through his committee. I stayed like 14 years on his committee. But
you got discouraged because nothing's going to happen, right?
No, he's not. And this is the reason why. On April 25th, 1975, the FBI drew up a document, FBI 302 firm, and it said the preparation of a paramilitary operation in Indian country. That's the headline. And then it says in the second paragraph, in lieu of the President of the United States not authorizing federal troop, the preparation of a paramilitary operation by the FBI, alcohol, tobacco, fire, with the Attorney General, and they specifically named, the paramilitary operation what happened at the Jumping Bull compound on the Pine Ridge Indian Reservation. So that was April 25th, 1975. On June 26, 1975, 2 months later, the shootout happened. And then when that shootout happened, first, before all the big firing, first a guy named Joe Stuntz was shot between the eyes. And then 2 cars of FBI agents, they came roaring in there, and then the shootout started. And there was a red pickup truck that the FBI it appeared that they were chasing. And Robert Redford did a video, and the FBI said we were chasing a red pickup truck, searching for a guy named Jimmy Eagle. And Jimmy Eagle had stole a pair of cowboy boots. So we were trying to find him because he stole. Now, what the fuck is the FBI doing chasing someone who stole, chased a pair of cowboy boots? Now, I got the document because when I was working in the committee, I read everything. So then I thought, well, let's get the South Dakota transcript because the FBI got everything crossed out. Maybe the South Dakota documents, there'll be something there so we can cross-examine. And the South Dakota, it says, we're sending you a red pickup truck to lead you in. They wasn't chasing it. That red pickup truck, it was an operative working for the FBI that led them in. I know who this guy is. I believe, he's been a pain in my ass for the work I've done for Peltier. Well, anyway, so then Agent Tremblett, the agent in charge, in his 302 form, he says, within 1 hour that we heard that agents were under fire, we had the Jumping Pool compound surrounded by over 100 agents. Within 1 hour. Now, the nearest town from there, where there's the FBI office, is an hour and a half away. Mm-hmm. How in the fuck could they mobilize unless they mobilized before? And they said the preparation of a paramilitary operation in Indian country. So they set the whole shootout up. So Dino Butler first, Leonard was sent to Leonard escaped to Canada, and they captured Dino Butler and Bob Robidoux. And Bob was in Leavenworth. Good dude. He's my partner. Was my partner till he died. So then they went to court in Iowa. In Iowa, they went when they went to court. The government, no problem. We got an all-white jury. This is Iowa. This is white man's country. Mm-hmm. But they was able to prove that, hey, wait a minute, man. This is what the government did, and we got a right to defend ourselves and everything. So the white jury, they said, holy fuck, no. Our government's doing this shit. This is fucking wrong. So they found Dino and Bob not guilty by reason of self-defense. So now all they got, well, we didn't get Leonard. So we got to get Leonard. So when Leonard went to court, first they got a woman by the name of Myrtle Poorbear. And when they got Myrtle Poorbear, they got 3 conflicting statements from Myrtle Poorbear. And she wasn't there. They just forced her. They threatened to run her through a meat grinder, grind up her kids. And they showed her these photographs of a woman named Anna Mae Akwas, who was assassinated. The Fed said she was kind of like me, organizer. She was an organizer, for AIM. So then they took her out. They said that she died from exposure. And we found out she died after they exhumed her body. She was assassinated with a bullet in the back of the head. Well, anyway, then they had the FBI teletype of the ballistic report showed the jury. This ballistics report came from that gun, they had up on the wall for the jury to see that gun all the time. Always saw the pictures of the dead agent, and they said, this proves that gun came from Leonard Peltier's gun that killed those FBI agents. All the time, there was an October 2nd teletype. And that October 2nd teletype was the original. That was, they hid that. They hid that from the defense. It says it doesn't match, the bullets doesn't match Leonard Peltier's weapon. They knew Leonard never did it. But if they don't, if Leonard was to get out, what does that mean? It means that the government is guilty of still continuing wars against Indian people. A paramilitary, they planned it, they executed it. And then you can't use armed forces in the United States. It's totally legal. So that's how I was able to prove in the tribunal that Leonard is a prisoner of war, not a political prisoner. He's a prisoner of war.
Right.
The thing about cases, I never have to look at notes at that shit. I remember that. When I know, I didn't know how to do a tribunal, but I knew how to ask people, can you help me?
Yeah.
Can you help me? And I went to, got a collection of all experts, and the government's guilty of genocide. So with that, see what's happening right now is, the Proud Boys, Donald Trump has really changed the way the game is played. And you have people making a strong movement to separate from the United States of America. In Idaho, in Montana, in the South, they totally want to separate. But if they do that, if they dissolve the U.S. federal system, our tribunal, and we got a legal document, we can declare independence because of the violation of the 1848 Guadalupe Hidalgo Treaty. That was ceded through treaty. And if the U.S. dissolved, we can claim it back. We can legally claim it back. And for one thing, we have Italy, France, all those countries that I have prepped to back our play.
Right.
It's so they want to do that because they're not going to. We got California in the Southwest. California's got one of the largest economies in the world. And if California, Oregon, Nevada, Arizona, Texas, will be harder, but we'll work on Texas because we also have the northern part of Mexico that will unite with us, and their numbers come into play. And then there, also people forget the power of a Mexican. We fought, drove the French out drove the Spanish out twice, and we had another civil war. And who led that civil war? Emiliano Zapata and Ponce Villa. Where did Emiliano and Zapata meet? In prison. They met in prison. There's a power in norteños and sureños. There's treaties now. There's something. It's I don't want that shit, but that's what will evolve. That's what will kick off. They don't know what the fuck they're asking for.
Right.
You know. It's but I know. Like what I told you. You know that when I had the youngsters that I don't know if we recorded that part. I told the youngsters, don't give up your guns, man.
Yeah,
you know, we got to just quit shooting ourselves. And then me and Russell Means. Hey, me and Russell Means. You know, Russell Means, American Indian Movement. Me and Russell and, you know, my crew of youngsters. My crew is, you know, a lot of them are old gang members in the streets. You know, but I Amonized them. You know, I made them Amesters instead of gangsters. And so my crew, Rage Against the Machine and Cypress Hill, they're on stage and they call me up to talk. And
oh, shit.
There, that concert, you got about 30,000 gang members. Every neighborhood in LA, they're there. And we've called for peace, you know, and then so I do the same thing with 30,000 gangsters in LA. And then, you know, when I finished, I said, and sabes que, vato? Porque? I said, parce que that's French. Sometimes now I get mixed up. I said, because this is our land. And I said, you hear me? You hear what I said? This is our land. And then I said, whose land? It's 30,000 gangsters. Our land. Whose land? Our land. I mean, the cops backed up. They never seen no shit like that. Russell Means, being a founder, I ain't become Bobby, man. I never seen anything like that. I said, that's what we got, brother. That's what we got. You know, and that's what it will be. If they want to start shit with us, they've already started picking off. They really want to start shit with us. We're going to defend ourselves. And sometimes some of the best defense is offense. You know, right. And they don't want to do that shit. Not in our neighborhoods, man. Not in our states. They really don't want to do that.
Well, dude, man, we're into it just about an hour and a half now, man. Well, listen, man, thank you for taking the time to share so much, bro. You want to do another interview next week? We can keep on going.
Oh yeah, because you got a whole bunch of questions.
We hadn't even started, man. So we're going to end this today, and you know, you're the best guest that we've had on, man. And we're really happy that you know, you were able to give us some of your time today, bro.
You can't say with liberty and justice for all anymore, because today they say that's woke. That's woke. You know, it's liberal. You know, nah, man, that's America. You know, that's what it's supposed to. It's not perfect, but that's what I mean. I've been able to go to you. I've been able to do things, you know, to address the things that are fucked up.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, you know, man, my people didn't come over. I'm Italian. Like, my people didn't come over here till the 1880s. After the Civil War was all fought and everything, man. So, you know, we're from another country. I understand what it means to be the son of an immigrant. You know what I mean? So I understand people wanting to come into this country for a better life. You know, I do. I really understand that because my people did it. And I think that's what's really, you know, it's you know, we got a lot of shit. We got a lot of problems, but I don't know, man. We just think we ain't gonna be able to solve it with Trump. I don't think, you know.
Yeah. Well, the best thing is vote. People got to get out and vote. You know that I was the official counter for what they call Democrats abroad. I'm not a Democrat, but I mean I can't vote for Trump. I didn't like Hillary Clinton either. You know they're
Right.
both assholes. You know, but I was Bernie Sanders' official counter for the votes in France.
Yeah, I like Bernie. I like his policies. You know, I like everything about him. You know, yeah. I doubt if somebody like Bernie would ever get elected, though. You know.
Oh no, that ain't gonna happen.
No,
That ain't gonna happen.
it's too far to the left.
You know, not on recording and stuff like that. Is you know, I will tell you about some politics I learned about the whole system, man. I met some interesting Americans in Geneva that you know it's and then the tribunal. You know what happened in the tribunal? Getting countries to support our tribunal to get the United States in the world court, and what happened? That's some heavy shit, dude. Heavy shit. I don't. I mean, you know, a friend of mine that does me real good. He told me, "You're the Mexican Forrest Gump." Because how do you get involved in?
So, so you've been all around Europe, huh? Where have you spent?
Yeah,
I mean, where have you spent
the Middle East?
Where have you spent most of your time? Where have you spent most of your time in Europe?
France, Germany, and Switzerland. For vacation, I like Italy 3 times.
You go to Italy? You go to Italy for vacation?
Yeah, all over Italy. I love Italy.
That's what I look forward to trying to get over there myself one day. You know.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Spain,
bro.
Man.
Anyway,
Spain is nice.
We got to end this, man. This is already 1 hour and a half, but we're gonna dissect it and edit everything.
One thing I learned also, because I used to do videos. If it goes too long, the sound will get messed up. So you might have to make it in 2 parts.
Oh, we're definitely gonna have to make this one 2 parts. Yeah, definitely.
You know, in an hour and a half, you might go 3 parts. You know,
it might even go 3 parts.
You cut this part out, you know, but it also help you in getting views, you know, number of views to get your finances. What I don't see, I see in other people's site is how to donate money. You don't see it on your site.
You know what, bro? I'm going to start asking people to go ahead and do that, because it's, you know, I've had some chat. I think I got like maybe $50-$60 that way. But yeah, most of the viewers haven't really contributed much, you know, as far as. But I'm going to start asking for, you know, start, because it's a job too. You know what I mean? It's not just. It's not all just.
Because what also I'd like to talk to you about some of the equipment that you need. And that we got to do a fundraiser. We got to, you know.
I mean, I think I will.
Because when I start my channel, because like I told you, that it'll be mostly about, you know, Native Americans, and then a whole bunch of prisoner situations. I'm going to focus more on that genre, and because there's too much competition on that. It's
all right, buddy. So we're going to end this now,
but
man.
Anyway, it's, I will do something similar.
It says
for me. What's that?
It's saying we got a poor signal.
Okay. Yeah, I can hardly hear you.
Okay.
You froze. Okay, bro. I'll talk to you later.
All right, brother. Thank you. All right, guys. This is an hour and a half. Wow.